Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of God Bless America. Today is September 11th, 2025, a day that lives in infamy for all Americans. You got to give Al Qaeda credit. No one would have seen it coming, the two Twin Towers, the Pentagon, everything else, but it was a heinous and atrocious act.
Man, I think there's a few moments in everybody's life where you remember. Sam, you fortunately
Weren't even born
yet.
Yeah.
Matt, I know where you know exactly where you were. I know exactly where I were. Most Americans know exactly where they were, where they had when they got married, when they had their first child. There's a lot of sentinel moments, and this is certainly one of them.
Absolutely. It's funny. I remember vividly hearing about the first plane crashing into the tower. In my office, I happened to have a TV on, and I just looked up, and the second plane hit the second tower.
Yeah.
Which point everybody knew it wasn't just a fluke or an accident or anything else. That it was terrorism. And it was a seminal moment in life. I know exactly where I was. I was on the phone with a woman named Marjorie Van Horn. So, Marjorie, I got to call you back, and hung up. And it was quite a day.
Yeah. What were your guys' thoughts? Like, did you think wherever I'm at might get struck? Or what were you guys thinking?
Well, I think nobody knew. There was so much confusion. In my particular instance, my assistant worked right outside my office, and I walked out, and she goes, "God, I'm listening to the radio." And she always listened to the radio. I did not in my office, didn't have television, and because that's where you work,
right?
And she liked to have the radio on. That was fine. And she goes, "Gosh, some plane just flew into the World Trade Center." She goes, "It must have been a pilot error, a death, or something happened. Nobody knew." So I thought that was kind of strange. Went back to my office, continued to work. And as the day unfolded, it became clear exactly what happened. And tragedy struck that day. And there was a sense of, I will say, a little bit of paranoia. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because of
nobody knew what was going to happen next, where it was going to come from, where it was going to occur.
The biggest fear that we all have is the fear of the unknown.
Right.
And the fear of the unknown is, where is the next attack? And then the Pentagon happened. The two trade towers happened. The Pentagon happened. The diversion into the
field in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a tragic day. What I will say is, regardless of what you think of George W. Bush, and I don't know where he's going to be measured in history as a president, and where his status is, but that day and those days after the event, he showed true leadership in galvanizing our country and giving us something to hang on to, in my opinion.
I agree. Really, I look back since 9/11. That is the only time I really think that I remember in this century that Americans were, regardless of political stripe, were all unified as Americans. And it's stark contrast to the political climate we find ourselves in now, where there is no middle ground.
No, there really isn't. And there's a few moments in history, World War II being one of them, 9/11 being one of them, December 7th, start of World War II being one of them, 1941. So there are a few moments that galvanize our country and keep us connected. And patriotism, which I'm not going to say is a lost art or a lost science or a lost feeling, but sometimes I feel that it is. Because of some of the negative vitriol by current members of our country and quite frankly, current members of our elected officials.
So, obviously, yesterday, another tragic day in American history, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And this is the first 9/11 following the actual event that I would say the discussion, the remembrances, the memorials were largely muted in favor of news coverage about the assassination of Mr. Kirk. And before we leave the subject, I do just want to say our hearts, our thoughts, and our prayers go out to the Kirk family. I cannot imagine a 31-year-old father. I have a daughter who's 31. To have a life terminated when it's just getting started, it's a poverty, it's a tragedy, and it is a poor reflection on America. I don't care which stripe of the political party you are on. There's no place in America for political violence.
No, there isn't. And I echo that. I have daughters that are 30 and 36. that have young children, just like Charlie did, and his family did, and his wife did. So it is a tragedy. But Sam, I'm curious about his messaging, his movement, Turning Point America,
His impact.
his impact on young people. You're a young
You're a
conservative.
young person. You're conservative. You go to the University
Tell
of
us,
Nebraska.
tell us what he meant to you, and quite frankly, I want a discussion on the void that he
Yeah.
leaves.
Well, I mean, I think I didn't even realize, like, when he was alive, I don't think I realized what, like, his impact and what he meant to the conservative people and the men in college my age. But yeah, so he was only 31 years old when he died, and he started this when he was 19.
What are you, 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
so
he started
like I
this.
said, Matt and I have children that are. I have children older
older
than
than
30.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, he didn't even go to college. He started this right away. Started to be a conservative activist right away, and I don't know. It was a weird day.
Sorry, folks. I was
Um,
supposed to do something, I guess.
Goddamn slags.
well, anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I was working out when I heard the news, and I was at the Easter egg with some friends, and
You text us right away.
yeah, I got a text from one of my friends, and he said Charlie Kirk just got shot in Utah, and I go to Twitter, I see the video, I send you guys the faraway video, and then I keep looking at my phone. I couldn't work out, and I see the close-up video, and it's just absolutely gruesome. I don't even know.
You shouldn't have watched it.
No, it's something
No.
no one should see.
That's disturbing.
It is.
Oh,
I mean, the older I become, I mean, gore movies and all those things, and for our generation, the Zapruder film of JFK's
JFK being
assassination,
assassinated in Dallas.
it's
It's
just
iconic.
it's gore,
It's gore.
and
Yeah.
you
It's
know, there's
tragedy.
really no
It's-
place for that.
No, yeah, it was so hard to watch. I instantly just felt like I was just like I couldn't work out. I couldn't think. I was just thinking about this, and I don't know. I think it really affects a lot of, like, college people, and it affects everyone. All Republicans for sure, but even Democrats who don't believe in what he says. But he was just a good voice of reason and debate, and just a good guy, a Christian guy, and
So the question is, I think for all of us is, you know, so he had charismatic,
Articulate.
bright, and could really resonate his point and argue and debate and take on all comers. Who takes that mantle? I mean, there's very few people who have that presence in life that we know of.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Who else is on the bench to step up and become the designated hitter?
I don't know. There's not a lot of people like him who are these people who aren't stuck up. Who, like, he's just generally just his motto was "Prove me wrong." That's what the tent by him said. I'm pretty sure. I think it says "Prove me wrong" around it, because that's what he did. He just let people talk. The craziest takes he would
There's
argue with
there's
facts.
endless Instagram, YouTube videos of Charlie debating and
Yeah.
really dressing down
Oh boy.
all kinds of all comers. Now,
Oh yeah.
But
those are the ones that we see. Matt, to your point, you know, did he win every
Did he
debate?
maybe,
We don't
maybe
know.
not.
We
Yeah.
only saw the
Our
ones that,
opinion is
our opinion. I mean, the ones that we saw and the ones that were publicized, the ones that are out there for all of us to view.
Mhm.
In most instances, he really made a case for the conservative movement, his beliefs, his religious beliefs, not his political beliefs, and really struck down the opponents, if you will, message of the way they were thinking. So,
But I will also say, one of the unsung virtues of Charlie Kirk, one, I think he had profound integrity, in my opinion, because he never deviated from his
Right.
position. He didn't ever sacrifice his values. But the biggest virtue that, again, I think goes unsung, he listened to everybody, no matter who was the loudest or the most vocal or the most vitriolic. He always said, you get to be the first to speak during the Q&A.
That's one of the biggest powers these days is listeners. People want to talk, and if you just listen, that's what he's so good at.
so I do believe, in my heart of hearts, that people with conviction, and whether it's conviction that I believe in or conviction that they believe in, I admire those people, and I'll give kind of a weird example, but in one of my career stops at Pepsi, I think a lot of businesses would say that they don't want to unionize. Would that
Right.
be fair?
That's fair.
So there was a union movement, and we had a very vocal leader who was convicted about becoming unionized. And instead of viewing him in the light of the enemy, I admired his conviction. I tried to convince him that wasn't the right pathway, and we had great dialogue. While as a lot of people vilified him as having that conviction, I admired that, and I tried to turn that conviction to our way and show him why he should be convicted, but not in the pathway he did. Thankfully, the vote came to a card count, and it didn't become a union, and he still remained an ally, a friend, somebody that we could count on to voice our opinion to the masses, to the audience that he had built as just a rank and file. And I think people with conviction of all angles have a voice in our country. Charlie does, and a lot of people on the left have conviction.
Absolutely.
It's we might not agree with it, but they have the conviction.
They do. And I will say, it's interesting. So I will argue this was a political assassination. Now, there's facts that may cause me to ask for some barbecue sauce to go with my crow.
Yeah, Utah governor stated that too.
But I do believe it was a political assassination.
So it wasn't random. It wasn't against Charlie Kirk. It was against him, the movement.
I think it
Turning
was.
point?
Well, and it may not even have been against him so much as him being the poster child for
Right.
a segment of the American population that the shooter didn't happen to agree with. And where I'm leading up to is, number one, there is no place in America for political violence. You can disagree. You can vociferously disagree. But whipping out a gun, a knife, fisticuffs, take your pick. There's no room for it. But number two, this is the first time that I can remember in several years where you had both sides of the political spectrum. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, John Fetterman from Pennsylvania, as well as
Joe Biden.
Everybody unanimously and emphatically and without wiggle room saying this has to stop. There's no room for it. And I do happen to agree with that. I admire Charlie Kirk. I want to come back to it. The art of listening, it's not the lost art of debate so much as I think the bigger symptom is the lost art of being able to listen, because that implies you hear what they're saying. You don't have to agree with it. You may very well not agree with it at all, but if you at least listen, you have the chance to have a conversation, and you may ultimately end up, the only agreement you arrive at is to disagree. And that too is acceptable. It doesn't have to be the other person is villainized, they're an idiot. This whole, the Democratic platform at this point is nothing but, I'm just going to resist Trump. Well, that's no platform.
No, that's not a platform.
And even though they're trying to do that.
That's against a person, not a platform.
And that was, I never observed Charlie, at least the little bit that I saw, where he never went after the person. Talked about the beliefs, listened to what they had to say. And again, to your earlier comment, Sam, prove me wrong. I never saw anybody that was able to prove him wrong. Now, admittedly, the win-loss, maybe we only saw the wins, we didn't see the losses, but I don't think many got the better of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel badly for him, but I'm just curious where this whole movement, and again, he had a really pathway with the young people.
Yes.
And, his message was universal, but it wasn't targeted at you and I.
No.
It was targeted at Sam.
Oh yeah, that's why he's such a big target. Is just because he's so famous, he's so popular. Aside from Trump, he's the biggest voice and influence in the Republican Party, especially because it's his target is all the people who are voting for the first time in 2024 for Trump or Biden or Trump or Kamala. But so that's why he targeted us, and so this is when you start to grow your beliefs, and then you.
But rightfully so, he targeted his movement on college campuses, which for 60 years have been a bastion of liberalism.
Yep.
So he rightfully wanted to get and try to convince that group of people that this was the way of life, whether it be religion, liberty, conservatism, and he spoke to that.
Yeah, and
social and it was just quite a message he had.
Yeah, when he started in 2013 or 2012, at 19, his message was like, I'm going to these liberal universities with these liberal students. And now today he said, now there are still liberal universities, but the students are conservatives. Like his movement's been so powerful that it's changed.
So I asked you,
what's been the tenor on the University of Nebraska campus today following that event?
I don't know. The people that I've been around, my friends that we've been watching the news, we've been talking about it, and I don't know, just like how we feel, or I don't know, just like shock and just like that I can't believe that really happened.
The fallacies we all live in is we live in a vacuum or tube, if you will.
Yeah.
99.5% of my conversations, friendships, associations, and beliefs are shared by my friends.
Yeah.
And so that's my vacuum. There's a vast majority of people who don't fit in that vacuum.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I do understand that.
Yeah.
I choose to associate with conservative folks who think and act like I do. But there is a whole section of people out there who think differently than us.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Now, I use the term agree to disagree, but I'm curious about what will happen on the campuses around the country.
Yeah.
Well, I know we saw a picture earlier today of an individual that happened to have taken up station, for lack of a better term, right outside of the main camp, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, right outside the student union. All the students are passing by there, often multiple times a day, in his lawn chair with signs saying Charlie deserved it.
Yep.
He was masked. He had sunglasses, a hat. He did not want to be recognized. And, again, I understand everyone has a right to freedom of speech. But as always, the right is worthless if you don't exercise it responsibly. And I would say that was not a responsible exercise of his right of free speech.
Oh, yeah.
So I happen to have a friend at Lincoln Police Department. I thought maybe it was an AI generated image. It was not. It was real. And they said, no, there's nothing we can do. It's freedom of speech. And did anything happen, do you know, Sam, to him? Did any of the students either support him or conversely feel compelled to lip off to him?
So, yeah, one of my friends sent me that image. It was just going through the grapevine. People were posting on Twitter and Snapchat stories, everything. And so I saw the picture of just him there at first and giving a thumbs up and just sitting there. I don't know exactly if there's anyone that was agreeing with him, but I mean, there's definitely people that are disagreeing. I'm sure there's a lot of yelling, but then later, about an hour ago, there was this picture of him. I saw on Twitter that he was walking out of the water, the fountains that are right by the Union, and his stuff was in the water. So someone must have either grabbed his stuff or been in an altercation or something, and threw his stuff in the water. But so
an incendiary thing, in a grotesquely insensitive thing like Charlie deserved that. He was kind of asking for it, but I will say I'm disappointed someone gave it to him, even though I do think it was deserved, because it goes against what we're talking about.
Deserved meaning
he deserved getting his ass kicked for being so crass and uncaring. But I'm disappointed someone gave into it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry that people gave into it because, again, it goes against the grain of what we're saying.
So
there's
let's
no
go
room
to
for political violence.
Let's go to the other side of the aisle. Let's take a Gavin Newsom. Let's take an AOC. Let's take a Hakeem Jeffries. Let's take about what's the young lady who is the congressperson from Texas?
Loretta.
No. Regardless of her, and we can't think of her name right now, they don't in any way, shape, or form. Their belief system is completely different.
Correct.
Than what there is no violence against them that I ever think is appropriate, should happen, and everybody should be outraged on this. And they have a completely different sphere. They have a completely different prism of the world than I do. 180.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's theirs. I have mine. We just have to convince enough people to have ours.
Yeah.
So they do not deserve to be persecuted. They do not deserve to be punished. They do not deserve to be silenced, and they certainly don't deserve to be assassinated.
No.
Yeah, the thing that scares me is like this happened at Utah Valley, but Charlie Kirk, he's been in Nebraska. He's been to last year. He went to a Husker football tailgate where the students are at the same union where that guy was at today. But so we were around there, and he's walking around, giving out hats, talking to people, posting videos on social media, like we see, and like that same thing. He could have been at Nebraska. Someone could have gone to the roof. Like that's scary because I mean, any student could be watching or listening to him.
So that brings up the security element of obviously the president of the United States, assassination attempt
Twice.
August last year, yet twice in Butler, Pennsylvania. There was a security breach by the Secret Service.
I would say security failure.
Yeah, failure, breach,
Yeah.
and that's been chronicled, and I'm sure people have been accountable for that. But in this particular situation where he's not an elected official, he doesn't have the security detail, he doesn't have the Secret Service, I'm curious about what he thought his risk was. I mean, we don't know that.
I mean, he had to have been like scared every time he's going having an event.
Turning Point did say they have a lot of documentation routinely getting death threats.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay.
That was reported earlier.
That would you would think so I don't know what that security detail, whether it be collectively around him, in the crowd, on the campus
police.
Now we're talking on a rooftop 200 yards from the allegedly
on a campus building.
How far does that go out?
Well, I mean,
they had the campus officer was talking in a press conference like an hour after they announced him dead, and he said that they had 6 campus officers in the area. So then he also has like his security guards. But I mean, he doesn't have.
But his own security guards are probably in his proximity, wouldn't they be?
I would think
I
so.
saw a picture. There's about like maybe 4 of them. It's a regular.
I'm sure they're around the stage, wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
What is the competency of campus police to be
That's
able to handle something like that?
exactly what I was talking.
It begs the question:
I mean,
where the city?
that's where
where's
I'm
the
talking
sheriff,
about.
The county sheriff, the city police.
No
state
deference
patrol.
to campus police, but what level do they have?
What level of training do they have? I mean,
they don't expect to have a political assassination just on a regular
or an
Wednesday.
assassination.
Yeah, like when I was talking about the Husker football tailgate for students, that was just at the Union. They have maybe 3 officers in that area, but like they walk around, but you don't really see many. I couldn't imagine there being more than 3 there, and that's not.
Does campus security carry weapons? Are they armed?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I don't know what level of security they provide.
Yeah. So, and then I had heard a story. I don't know if it's exactly true, but that he was maybe wearing a bulletproof vest, which I'm not sure exactly because he was just wearing a white T-shirt. You'd think you'd be able to tell, but there was a long video, the one I sent you guys, and it looks like he gets hit maybe like above the heart, but then the close up.
Did you send us that?
I think when I sent you, I did.
No.
You know that I did.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
No,
I
gore. You didn't send us any gore.
Not the gore one. It was from far. You can see like a hole, like you can hear the pop in the.
But I thought
I didn't send you the close up one.
Good.
No, that.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
don't
see
send
it.
me that. I don't. My soul does not need to see.
No. Yesterday I just kept thinking about that. It's like, oh my god, it's tough to see, but.
No, we don't need to see that.
But yeah, but what I was saying is, someone was saying that it could have hit him in the chest. His bulletproof vest could have ricocheted him in the neck. I don't know. Because it looked like it hits his carotid artery and he just bled out.
So it begs the question. A lot of these situations are deranged people, mentally ill people. That's through the history of time. The assassinations, mass murders have been done by people that have some mental issues. Is this a politically motivated assassination, or is it a paid for hit?
I don't know. Trump was
good question.
Trump was taking questions outside the White House today, right before we did this, and he was saying that he has an assumption, but then he's not, or they might know, but he wasn't going to say right now until they get the exact answers.
So somebody as powerful as Charlie was, and I think, would we agree, or maybe the audience would agree, that it had some momentum?
Oh, it definitely was.
His messaging
It was
had
amazing
momentum.
momentum.
That's why whoever this person was felt so
Right.
dangered by it.
So if he had momentum, then it could be more than just a deranged person.
Yeah.
I'm not a pointy, tinfoil hat guy,
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking.
Well, I would say anybody planning out and committing murder,
Yeah,
there's already
they're derangement.
there's a mental disorder.
But
It's not normal.
But if it's paid for and that's your job,
I mean,
that's
it's
a different
still
deal.
pure,
That
it's
is a
still
different
pure evil, but
that's mercenary.
Well, that is mercenary.
yeah.
But ultimately, here we sit, and I would argue now is the time America needs real leadership, meaning
Yes.
serious leaders, serious discussions, and show America the right thing to do. Because leadership always starts at the top.
So who?
And here's the other,
So
let me
who's that
finish,
start stop?
which is that at this point, yesterday on the floor of the House of Representatives, Congresswoman Boebert asked for a prayer for Charlie's family and ends up in a shouting match. That isn't what I elected anybody, regardless of whether they're right or left or in between. Grow up. I don't need to see the subtle dynamics at a nursery school recess going on. Say the prayer, because it was a tragic event. A 31-year-old young man, his life's just getting going, a wife, 2 kids, cut short because somebody felt threatened by the message and the momentum he was getting. Deranged or not, it's interesting. The governor of Utah did mention Utah has the death penalty, and we were talking about that earlier, that maybe it's firing squad.
I think it's a firing squad. I think Utah still has a firing squad.
The thing is do you think he'll be alive when they find him?
Well,
I don't
again,
know.
back to the terrible disease of mental illness. A lot of people take their own lives in these particular situations.
Yeah.
This person didn't at the time of the action. That doesn't mean they won't.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see how this plays out, and
Agreed.
I'm just curious what this person did. You showed us a picture of a person of interest.
They did. It sounds like that is him for sure. Because they had the
Wait a
two
minute,
people.
for sure, maybe we had 2 people
That-
in
We had 2
custody and
people
were released.
that
Yeah.
got released.
So
Let's,
yesterday, right after, they
Presumed
had-
innocent until
So-
proven guilty, right?
Correct.
Barrister?
True.
Yeah.
But they had 2 people in custody yesterday. Both got interrogated
Yeah.
and let go. But there was a video of the first one, and he was yelling, "Shoot me, shoot me." So these guys must have been protesting or yelling against Charlie for them to think that they could be the one. I don't know. But, do you guys think it was a planned attack, like a team thing, or do you think it just a single person? It's hard to know.
I don't think we have
It's
enough
hard to
facts.
know.
No, I don't think we have enough
This is
information.
pure
or-
conjecture at this point.
I always say that, we legislate a lot of things in our state and in our country, and we legislate against persecution of people, against persecution of color, against persecution of people. The problem with all of that is we can't look into the hearts of the people,
Right.
and you can legislate all you want, but you can't look into the heart. So we can't look into the heart of this assassin.
Mhm.
We don't know what motivated him on any level until he come out and tell us. But
Yeah.
to speculate, that's probably
Pure
foolish
conjecture.
on our part.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But we're back to leadership.
Yes.
George W. Bush, after 9/11, we saw a significant leadership. We need it now after an event like this. And I do think, again, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, America is hungry for leadership. There are things Donald Trump does that I like. There are things he does I do not like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to be highly polarizing, which I don't think is the right approach to a national level tragedy like this.
Yeah.
That really has, again, it goes back to it. This is the first time since 9/11 happened that I can remember the memorials and everything to go into the remembering that event was literally overshadowed by what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Tragic, terrible.
You're right on the leadership, and we'll see what transpires over the next few days on what people say and do. Actions matter.
Actions matter.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier, guys, but you were asking this, the void that Charlie Kirk leaves, because he's one of the most famous people aside from Trump and the Republican Party. So, like, I don't know.
So you feel he's
that.
he's the second
most
loudest,
influential
Republican conservative. Let's say conservative.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Just his impact that he has had on so many people in the last 8 years.
But
last
I
two
think
elections.
that skews. I think if you walked out and okay, people, let's say over 50, Charlie Kirk, they may have heard of, but they don't really understand what his messaging are.
Yeah.
People of your age certainly do.
Oh yeah.
People as aware as Matt and I are aware of what Charlie's messaging was and what his mission was. So that's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
So here's another question, Sam. So flip that around, because you were still attending college. There is still a significant population of very, very liberal students and faculty at the University of Nebraska. Who would you say is the first or second most influential Democrat to your generation? Would it be AOC? Would it be Bernie Sanders? Zoran Hakeem Jeffries?
I don't know.
Kamala Harris? Joe Biden? Obama?
I don't. Maybe Obama. I don't know.
You think Obama still resonates?
I don't know. What do you? I don't know that.
He never resonated with me. I thought he was.
I'm just I don't disagree with that.
I don't know.
I think AOC's. How about?
I think
Mandami?
her candle's kind of flaming out.
Who?
AOC.
No. How about Mandami? But he hasn't been elected to anything.
He hasn't been elected to anything. Well, he was an assemblyman. But
he was assemblyman in New York.
This goes back to our prior episode. We talked about who are the leaders of the Democrat Party. This is basically the same thing. I don't know. I don't know who the influential
you're not
person
seeing
is.
Gavin Newsom, for example, resonating with University.
No. Yeah, do you see Gavin?
There's not someone in the Democrat Party that's like
Gavin's
that.
trying really hard.
He's doing his damnedest.
But like then there's these people like there's not many people who could. There's no one like Charlie Kirk. There's no one with that same personality, the same drive and passion and like love for the country.
Well, what I do believe is, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, I think Gavin, AOC, Bernie, you can go on, Hakeem, they have a core belief system. It differs dynamically from
ours.
Yeah.
Ours and potentially our audiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. They just have a different belief system. It's just who can convince, who has a better story, who has a better debate, who has a better argument about their system better than your system.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately it is. And it plays out in the polls. It plays out in public opinion. Mm-hmm. It plays out in elections. It plays out in many
manifestations.
Yeah. So I the people that could fit his void, I think of like Riley Gaines, or she's been super powerful recently, and Benny Johnson, who's one of Charlie's friends, and he's not as big of a name, but he's still a very, very big name. And Candace Owens,
yeah.
She's kind of gone underground since she was really very prevalent during the George Floyd movement, but I haven't heard much from her of late.
Yeah,
and I don't know if she's started a family, got married. I don't know what her personal situation is, but I haven't heard much from her.
Yeah.
But she was certainly in the forefront 4 or 5 years ago.
On that topic of George Floyd, it'll be interesting to see if young Republicans have the same reaction. Riots and burning things down and, acting like hooligans.
I think 24 hours later, we have not seen that.
So we haven't seen it to my knowledge.
I saw videos of actually Liberty University, just like in Notre Dame, like huge crowds of people just like gathered around, held around, listening to like worship songs and praying together. And it's a whole different viewing than the fires and the burning down buildings and the riots.
Charlie not only had a political message and a belief message. He had a spiritual message.
He did.
And he believed in core values, family values. He believed in the sanctity of religion. So his belief system was from the ground up. So yeah, that's neat that you, again, I haven't observed that. I mean I believe you on all those campuses.
Yeah.
I'm glad. You mentioned something to me to us, Sam, earlier that I find a little bit fascinating. I mean, my perception, which isn't reality, my perception is that college campuses, because of what I read and hear and understand, maybe skew more progressive than they do conservative. You indicate that you believe the University of Nebraska skews more conservative than it does progressive.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe since like 2020, that area, and going up into the last election. It seems, maybe it's just the people I'm around or like the people I see, that just seems like it's gone more like this conservative way. But yeah, I don't know.
You'd have a better feel than we.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Around the University of Nebraska campus anymore.
But I don't know. Like, the teachers are obviously, I feel like a lot of my teachers are definitely liberal, and that's probably goes for every major or every college at UNL. But yeah, I don't know. I get the feel that it's more conservative, and
unless you're at Hillsdale College.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but it just goes to the political divide in the country is just, it seems like it's at its biggest divide that's been in the last.
It's unpalatable, but
last
it's
years.
tangible.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah.
You don't want something else to happen from the far right people.
No.
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 Just
I don't
know.
That would be the worst thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that would start like
collectively. That would be the worst thing that could happen if there was a reaction on the far right to counteraction the terrible tragedy that happened.
Yeah, because I was telling you guys how there's that DNC headquarters bomb threat today, and like you don't want that.
That's not appropriate. There's no need for that.
In any situation, that's not appropriate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This needs to unite us, not divide us even more.
Correct.
Well said.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we've got more to unpack, but let's go ahead and wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah.
All of us at Mod Bless America want to send a prayer to our friends and to all of you, and we'll just say, God bless America.
God bless America.
Yep. God bless America.
Cheers.
Cheers.